No matter how you slice it or dice it, the ever-growing popularity of burgers is surely in part thanks to the sheer number of options available. But some of them aren't so readily available anymore, so here are the discontinued restaurant burgers that need to make a comeback. McDonald's is a bit of an industry pioneer in experimentation when it comes to new menu items and limited offerings. This is the company behind the McRib, after all. Unfortunately, though, not all of its creations can be raging successes. Sometimes it boils down to failed marketing schemes, worldwide recessions, and even ethical issues. In 1988, McDonald's introduced our palates to the beloved Cheddar Melt Burger. Basically the grilled cheese of our dreams, it consisted of a grilled beef patty glazed with teriyaki sauce, caramelized onions, and ooey-gooey melted cheddar cheese sauce piled between a pillowy burger bun. That sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? Alas, the 80s were an odd time in the fast food industry. McDonald's was constantly switching things up, introducing new items and axing others at a rapid pace. The cheddar melt had a short life and was cut in the early 90s, thereby melting our hearts at the same time. It's since seen the light of day again a few times, including a brief comeback in the early 2000s. Fans went crazy in 2014 when a McDonald's in Wisconsin started selling it again, but that proved to be fleeting as well. We'll be waiting with bated breath for its long overdue, full-fledged return. We love the convenience factor of a fast food burger, but sometimes our hearts insist on something with a little gourmet flair. There was a time not that long ago that artisan cheese was a popular culinary trend, and Wendy's was quick to hop on board. In 2010, the chain introduced us to the Bacon and Blue Burger. The Mercedes-Benz of fast food burgers, this vessel of tantalizing mouth joy was loaded with a quarter-pound beef patty, 4 strips of applewood smoked bacon, sautéed onions, steakhouse sauce, and Wisconsin blue cheese crumbles, all on a brioche bun.
Some blue cheese.
Blue cheese? What do you think, you're better than me?
It was both delicious and a big old mess. Wendy's fans praised the premium burger and its robust artisan blue cheese. They also loved the price tag, a mere $4.29 for basically an entire meal in and of itself. Despite those high marks, this topping-loaded sandwich proved to be quite difficult for the drive-thru crowd, as it basically instantly disintegrated after one bite. High-end isn't always convenient. Our heads were spinning in 2016 when Burger King introduced the Whopperito, a part burger, part burrito Frankenstein of a meal. With a side of Tex-Mex flair, the Whopperito used seasoned ground beef combined with creamy queso, tomatoes, onions, lettuce, and pickles stuffed inside of a flour tortilla. This was an attempt by BK to build on its uber-popular flame-grilled burger, and it proved to be a delight to fans, as customers specifically praised the beef's spicy flavoring. With the average Chipotle burrito clocking in at over $7, we'd love to see the return of the Whopperito, setting our wallets back only $2.99. Sometimes the best way is the cheapest way. And now for another entry courtesy of the Golden Arches. It should come as no surprise that McDonald's should frequently appear on this list, as they have taken many risks since their inception in 1955. Some have failed, but with great risk comes great reward. While we're all familiar with standbys like the Filet-O-Fish and the Big Mac, there are quite a few other McDonald's favorites that have seemingly vanished from existence. Case in point, the McDLT. On paper, it looks like there's nothing wrong with this blast from the past that was introduced in the 80s, as it consisted of a reliable combination of patty, lettuce, tomato, cheese, and pickles.
Could be the best tasting lettuce and tomato hamburger ever!
But unfortunately, there were some shortcomings. The issue wasn't in the taste, but in how the burger was prepared and packaged. In an effort to keep the warm components separate from the cool components, the McDLT was served in a double-sided styrofoam container. That's one small step for taste buds, but it's also one giant leap back towards total mindlessness when it comes to producing waste. Activists were quick to point out this pretty major flaw, and the McDLT was ultimately pulled from the menu. There's nothing worse than soggy lettuce and tomato on a burger, but it can't be at the expense of Mother Earth. Nevertheless, we're still holding out hope for a more environmentally friendly version of the McDLT. Nothing is more frustrating than fast food chains selling limited-time-only menu items specific to a certain region or country. We always want what we can't have, and there was one particular release that we would have been willing to travel the distance for. Wendy's Southern-inspired Carolina Classic Burger was introduced to only the chain's Charlotte-area restaurants, which has us wondering if you can ask delivery apps to travel across state lines. Comprised of Wendy's signature quarter-pound beef patty, zesty chili, diced onions, mustard, and tangy coleslaw, the Carolina Classic Burger left Carolinians swooning, and for good reason. With a bold taste that led to a legion of loyal fans, this limited release made its return in the fall of 2019, this time to all restaurants across South and North Carolina. We wouldn't be surprised if this one eventually makes a national rollout, as we could see it being a massive success just about anywhere. Restaurants occasionally rely on the shock and awe factor when marketing their new products. Such was the case with a limited-time offering from Uno Pizzeria and Grill known as the Whole Hog Burger. Introduced in 2016, it was made up of 4 types of meats: bacon, prosciutto, pepperoni, and sausage. It also had 4 types of cheese, onion rings, garlic mayonnaise, and a whole lot more. It made headlines quickly and earned some notorious recognition, like Grub Street's Unhealthiest Dish at a Restaurant and the Center for Science in the Public Interest's yearly Extreme Eating Awards. At a whopping 2,850 calories, it's clear that the Whole Hog Burger is about as far from healthy as you can possibly get. While we would typically never recommend anyone eating this much meat in one sitting, sometimes you have to indulge. This burger was ultimately short-lived, but at least it lasted long enough to be one hell of a photo op. In the 90s, Burger King was riding high on the enduring popularity of the Whopper. It debuted back in the 50s, and it's been a smash success ever since. And with its recent incarnation as the Impossible Whopper, it's becoming ever more relevant in a highly competitive sea of options. While McDonald's was certainly also doing A-OK in the 90s, they were also dreaming up some competition for the Whopper. So in 1997, they tested the Big and Tasty in the California market. It consisted of a seasoned quarter-pound beef patty topped with ketchup, mayonnaise, slivered onions, 2 dill pickle slices, leaf lettuce, and a tomato slice on a sesame seed bun. McDonald's went big for its advertising by partnering with the Walt Disney Company and debuting the sandwich on a grand scale in coordination with the opening of Disney's California Adventure theme park. They even snagged NBA superstar Kobe Bryant for their national ad campaigns. But even with captive eyeballs and mega marketing dollars, it failed to leave a lasting impression on consumers. The Big and Tasty was ultimately downgraded to the dollar menu and eventually removed altogether in 2011. Working with Kobe Bryant on the Big and Tasty wasn't McDonald's first foray into appealing to the sports-obsessed fan. As far as 90s pop culture icons go, there's none more larger than life than Michael Jordan. The most famous man of the decade was a star on and off the court. It's no wonder that McDonald's wanted to snag a partnership with this powerhouse Chicago Bulls legend. The McJordan debuted in Chicago-area McDonald's to great fanfare for a limited time. This cheeseburger was served on a sesame seed bun with pickles and raw onion, like the slices found on the Quarter Pounder, not the diced variety. And the burger featured bacon and barbecue sauce. We would jump through hoops to taste the McJordan just one more time. If you never had a chance to try it yourself, don't fret. Just ask for a regular cheeseburger with bacon and a side of barbecue sauce, hold the ketchup, and swap out the regular bun for a sesame seed bun. It won't be exactly the same though, as the bacon used back then was circular, so you'll have to settle for the standard strips used today. In an effort to win over its more well-to-do clientele, McDonald's launched the Arch Deluxe in 1996 with a reported $150 million advertising campaign surrounding it.
The burger with the grown-up taste. McDonald's Arch Deluxe.
The New York Times reported that at that time it was the most expensive promotion the company had ever undertaken. Along with the massive ad campaign came a high price tag for the burger itself, as it was set to sell for between $2.09 and $2.49 depending on the variety. That might not sound like much now, but it could put a dent in your pocket a few decades ago. The Arch Deluxe consisted of a quarter-pound fresh beef patty, bacon, all the expected burger fixings, and the chain's new sauce, a combo of mustard and mayo. While the burger was pretty tasty and customers seemed to approve, the sales just weren't there, likely because of the stark contrast in price compared to the other menu offerings. McDonald's tested a similar version in 2018, known as the Arch Burger, at a select number of locations for a price that was more on par with the rest of their menu. Burger King's Whopper has shown little signs of slowing down ever since its introduction in the 50s. CNBC reported in 2020 that the chain sells approximately 234 beef Whoppers a day per restaurant. Now, with the addition of the Impossible Whopper, that number has gone up astronomically. And back in 2016, BK kicked the spice factor up a notch with the release of the Angriest Whopper. This burger was a bit aggressive as it featured a hot sauce-infused red bun, flaming onion petals, spicy angry sauce, and jalapeno. We're all about the heat, but we actually prefer the Angry Whopper to the Angriest Whopper, as the former cuts the intensity back a bit by using a normal bun as opposed to the infused bun. The Angry Whopper is available from time to time, and we're holding out hope that this hunk of heat heaven makes a permanent return to the menu someday soon, or else we're going to be the ones who get angry.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
The The words organic, all-natural, and grass-fed are tossed around so much that it can leave a lot of consumers scratching their heads. But that didn't stop Chili's from getting in on the action with the 2016 debut of its grass-fed burgers, whether they were doing it for actual health reasons or as a clever marketing ploy. Available in 2 varieties, Chili's claimed that the patties were free of antibiotics and contained no added hormones. The Sunrise Burger option featured a cage-free egg, pepper jack cheese, applewood smoked bacon, lettuce, red onion, tomato, and Chili's signature sauce. The Ultimate Bacon Burger featured a double portion of applewood smoked bacon, aged cheddar cheese, jalapeno aioli, buffalo sauce, pickles, lettuce, red onion, tomato, and honey chipotle sauce. They were both served with home-style fries on the side. So far, so delicious. While the burgers were absolutely drool-worthy, it's no surprise that Chili's marketing toward the health-conscious didn't quite pan out as they'd anticipated. The burger patties themselves seemed harmless, but the rest of the ingredients were questionable at best, as they packed quite a punch in the calories, saturated fat, and sodium departments. They were quietly cut from the menu in 2017, along with a slew of other items when the company's president admitted that they were trying too hard to chase the trends. But we'd still welcome a return of these to see what we missed out on. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite restaurant chains are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.